Just imagine the following scenario. A man walks down the street, he notices that a house is on fire, that there are people inside screaming for help. He doesn't know them, but he runs into the house and saves one person, brings him out, then goes back for the next, and then eventually, overcome by smoke, he dies. A real hero, a person who has put the interest of others in front of his own interests. Now, why would that be? A few days ago, my friend Peter, he suggested I make a video on altruism from a philosophical point of view. To be honest, it's not a topic that I thought I would make a video about, but I have been giving it some thought for the last few days, and actually I've realized that that the question of why people act in such an altruistic way, as the example given just now, that is actually a great philosophical question, and it also illustrates the good, the bad, and the ugly of philosophy. Now, why do I say that? There are people, mainly Christians, that they believe in simple solutions. They would say to you that, I believe in the Bible. It tells me how the world came about. It tells me how to live. It tells me what's the meaning of life. I need nothing more than that. Now, philosophy is then complete opposite of this religious dogma, in the sense that philosophy doesn't say you must live your life like this. This is the answer to a particular question. And normally, philosophy is about searching for an answer by asking more questions. The question about altruism from a philosophical point of view is one that doesn't provide a definitive answer. And obviously not everybody would like that. If you ask a simple question, you want a simple answer. But that's not the way philosophy works. So how does philosophy work, or how will philosophy approach this question of altruism? Now, what I can say is that a few philosophers are very much against altruism, critical of it. The first one being Ayn Rand. And now she argued that actually the communists in Russia built the whole system on altruism, where the individual must now put the cause of communism above his own interest. She also argued the same with Nazi Germany, same scenario. Now, another critic was Nietzsche. Now, Nietzsche said that he related altruism to slave morality. He argued that this slave morality of serving others, that is closely related to this altruism idea. Now, I'm not sure I agree with it too, because I think that altruism means something slightly differently in my view. It's not a person placing others above his own interest all the time. That obviously that would be wrong. I agree with that. But I think the normal understanding of altruism is to take a person, normal average person, who then is placed in a situation where he then puts the interest of others in front of his own, even to the extent of losing his own life, knowingly taking the risk that he would lose his own life. So that is for me more altruism. Now, I think that the general consensus amongst philosophers is to say that true altruism, example that I've mentioned just now is a very rare thing. Normally, people place their own interest above others, and when they act in an altruistic way, there is normally self-interest at play. There's also a tendency amongst philosophers to start arguing that this a distinction between self-interest and the interest of others. One should stop putting too much emphasis on that. They sort of argue that if a person acts in an altruistic way for his own interest's sake, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. So just to use my friend Peter's example now, he's a search and rescue volunteer that goes and is called out whenever somebody is lost or injured in the mountain, and he would go and save that person. And absolutely honorable, and I tip my hat to him. It's fantastic. And certainly I'm not criticizing him now. I'm just saying that, but that is not pure altruism, because there is quite a fair amount of self-interest involved. Because I know that he likes mountaineering, he likes challenges, he likes to tracking, search for people or to search for something. He likes to do that. He's quite good with somebody being injured and treating that person's injury. It gives him obviously a kick to save somebody. That's fantastic. So from a philosophical point of view, I think I agree with most or some philosophers at least who says that one shouldn't be too critical about it. And that is now sometimes the bad thing about philosophy. So with philosophy, we tend to be very critical about something, and sometimes it's not really the done thing. And I think this altruism is one of those that one shouldn't be too critical or to analyze it too much. Just accept it for what it is. It is Albert Einstein who said that you must be careful. You must be careful to make reason your God. He argued that, of course, reason has powerful tentacles, but it has no personality. Now, I agree to a certain extent, and in this channel, the premise is that I think that the lack of philosophy, the lack of reason being used is a bad thing for society, and I think it should be increased. But there are certain circumstances that obviously reason is not the most important thing to have. Altruism is one of those. Just accept it for what it is. Don't be too critical, don't analyze it too much. Another thing is perhaps if you receive a gift, just be thankful for the gift. If you start analyzing it, it's not good. If you're at the funeral or maybe a farewell of somebody, you must make a speech about that person. This is perhaps the time for poetry and for nice, eloquent speech making, and not for cold, hard facts or reason. So from a philosophical point of view, I would say that altruism is something that should not be analyzed or judged too critically. I think one must just applaud it, and that is perhaps the best way to approach it.